He had an opportunity to fight him, and he felt he needed to cheat to beat him. So if he needed to cheat to beat him, and he did that, fuck you.
This is Jonathan Aggie, your fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Dave Colwell. Dave, I'm used to interviewing you in Sheffield and Leeds and all that, but we are here in San Francisco, head of Haney against Prograis, and also obviously Ebanie Bridges, your first fight with her. But first of all, how have you been and how's America treating you?
Yeah, good. Listen, we had a good couple of weeks out here. We started off, did about 10 days in Vegas. Ebanie finished off a camp there, did a couple of great spars at the DLX gym. I had Stephen Ken sparring over at Salas's gym, where we use as a base. We did all his boxing there, apart from Ebanie's sparring days. Then came over to San Francisco on Tuesday, so for fight week. So it's been good. It's been really good.
Do you take anything when you're around coaches like Ismael Salas and other people? What do you learn?
You're always learning. Listen, you can learn off of people that you've never heard of. There's a lot of good coaches out there, but Salas is somebody that I've always looked up to. I've always seen him as one of the elite coaches in the game. Met him a few times, obviously with Jamie McDonnell against Kameda and Bellew against Hay. But we've always kept in touch, always got on, and he's always said, whenever you're in Vegas, come to my gym. And I can't thank him enough. He's took me under his wing there, allowed me to use the gym as my own. It's been a great experience. And then yesterday went over to Virgil Hunter and had a session at Virgil's gym. And Andre Ward's one of my go-to for watching boxing and studying boxing. And the work that he did with Virgil, I've got massive amount of respect for them both. So to be able to train one of my fighters in that gym, it's a really big thing for me. So it was good.
Brilliant. So Ebanie Bridges, first fight. How have you found the link up with her, and how she adapted to your style and coaching?
Yeah, good. Listen, you're not trying to. I'm not trying to turn Ebanie Bridges into a Hopi Price, right? She's not that kind of fighter. She's always going to want to go in there and knock somebody out. But I'd like her to be a little bit smarter, be a bit more selective in her punching. As you get older as a fighter, you don't want to be taking so much constant hammer on the way in. You don't want to be just throwing, wasting a lot of energy, because it's all right boxing that way in a certain level, but when you're looking at the big unification, you're looking at the top line fights. Yoshida's a former two-time world champion. You're talking about good fighters. You can't get away with things like that. You've got to be a little bit cute, a little bit smarter. And so I've just been trying to refine things a little bit, get the weight on the end of her punches a little bit more. And yeah, it's been good. The main thing is that she's seen it, but the people that she sparred with before, that she sparred with now, have felt a difference. So that's always a nice indication. It's just about transferring it into fight night.
And it is a late opponent change. She was meant to fight Avril Matthew, but has that changed anything in terms of preparation or not?
Not so much, because we've kind of had like 4 possible opponents since Avril Matthew. It's like, where you think, all right, but it's about preparing Ebanie to be the best that she can be in every department, and she's worked on that and she's done really well. So it's just about going in there and doing the job, really, and doing what she does best. I want her to enjoy it. She loves punching people in the face. That's what she's that kind of girl. So you've not been in that situation, in a fight situation for a long time now. Go out there and enjoy it.
Tell us about everyone else in the gym and some updates.
Yeah, as I said, Stephen Ken's been out here. I'm really excited about Stephen. He's 21 years old, from Cork in Ireland. The experience is gathering, sparring in the UK, but also the sparring in May was out in LA with me. Now he's come out to Vegas and San Fran with me, just soaking all up the big fight atmospheres. He's somebody that, when he's 23, I'll let him off the leash and he'll be a phenomenal fighter. Very exciting. Hopi Price, recovering, his last fight, he broke his thumb and damaged a couple of ligaments in his hand, but thankfully not to the extent where he needed an operation. He just can't punch for 8 weeks. So it'll time him by the time I get back. We'll test that hand out, see if he can, tap with it. As long as there's no pain there, then he doesn't need an operation. So then we're looking at to get him out, February time. His brother Ellis Price is turning professional now. Very, very good fighter. Completely different to Hope. Got his own identity, a bit of a character as well.
A similar weight, or
no? He's heavier. Super featherweight, lightweight. He came out to America as well with him in May, so he's had a lot of experience and he's suiting to the pro game really, really well. And young Muhammad Ali, the baby of the bunch, he's continuing his development, and I'm looking forward to his progress in 2024 as well.
Before we move on, just do want to get your opinion on the main event, Haney Prograis. How do you rate this one down?
Do you know what a fantastic fight this is. The build-up and the content for it has really been brilliant. It's been brilliant, I think Prograis brought Haney's character out a little bit. He's been very, very witty, very smart. But Prograis is so funny, and I just love how he goes off. It's a great fight. Down to abilities, Prograis can punch. We've seen Haney can get caught, but Devin Haney's an unbelievable talent, and I think he's a little bit, well, not a little bit, I think he's vastly unappreciated for what he's achieved at such a young age in the sport. This is a guy that's he's been undisputed, and now he's coming up. I think the frame on him, the size on him, the move up in weight is going to be better for him. You're going to see more energy, but you're going to see, I think it's going to allow him to be even faster. It's going to allow him to be even more powerful. Even more. I know he's not known as a powerful fighter, but he's got some pop on his punches. Otherwise, people just walk straight through him. People always think about, you've got to be a dynamite puncher. No, if you're a soft puncher, people walk through you. But Haney's got great feet. He's got snap on his punches, and I believe his power will be, increased at this new division, extra £5. It's one of those fights because Prograis hits that hard, and he's also skillful. He's very, very. Let's go back to when he fought Josh Taylor. I watched him in that fight, and he didn't get the decision, but I thought that he was gonna blow up on the back of that and become, a star of the sport. But it never quite took off for him. His feet need to have improved since his last fight in order to catch up with Haney. I would say Haney's a favourite, but Prograis a real live, not underdog, but a real live opponent in this fight. He's a champion. He's got a chip on his shoulder. It'll be very, very interesting when Prograis lands on him, and you got to see how, because Haney's looked to have been shook a little bit by Lomachenko, by Linares, but how much of that was down to the weight? When you are tight at a weight, you do not take the punch as well as what you do when you're not tight at a weight. So let's see. It'll be interesting. To see. But it's going to be a great fight.
Absolutely. Just away from this card, comments from Deontay Wilder I wanted to ask you about. He feels that Eddie Hearn doesn't really want to make the Anthony Joshua fight, suggesting that he's the number one guy at Matchroom, and fighting him would kind of end that. I spoke to Eddie over there.
Really?
Well, as in end the fights for Joshua and things like that. I spoke to Eddie just there. He said, well, look, why would I want to not put him in a fight that would make me more money? So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, you can't have it both ways. People like to say that Eddie's in it for a pound note, which he does like a pound note, but if he's in it for a pound note, then it's a massive fight and he's going to earn a few pound notes in that fight, so why wouldn't he want to make the fight? I think they've tried to make the fight, and they've been very, very close to having the fight, and then it kind of got pulled, the rug got pulled under it. I think was it with the Saudi thing, if I'm right. So I think he's got a track record of showing that he wants to make the fight. That's not his fault if circumstances beyond his control stop the funds to make the fight happen. If you can say if you know, if Wilder wanted to fight that bad, then take less money and say, all right, I'll fight you for peanuts. There you go, just to make the fight. But there's always different variables in making fights, and it's not always, you know, one way. It can be both ways, and sometimes it's just circumstances. I don't see that they don't want that fight. And plus, Eddie works for AJ, and I'm sure AJ wants that fight.
And did you see Eddie's comments on Jarrell Miller, saying that Jarrell Miller felt that he was treated differently to, say, the Conor Benn situation and things like that?
Boo-hoo for Jarrell Miller. Fucking failed tests 3 times, wasn't it? 3 different tests. Like juiced up injectables and shit. What does he want? I wouldn't even entertain him. You know? I wouldn't even entertain giving him another opportunity. He had an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. You know, was he? If I remember right, was he one? He was the one that shoved him at the face to face and shit like that. He had an opportunity to fight him, and he felt he needed to cheat to beat him. So if he needed to cheat to beat him, and he did that, fuck you. I wouldn't even give him an opportunity. And Eddie spoke to him. Fair enough, fair play to him. But I wouldn't even have spoke to him. What's he want? People feel sorry for him.
And just finally, Dave, I'm sure we'll speak before the fight anyway, February 17th, Fury Usyk. Since that Ngannou fight, has your opinion changed at all on how it's going to play out?
I don't know, because neither of them looked great in the last fight. Fury could just be on the decline. Fury could be, listen, those Wilder fights were hard. The last one especially. When you have fights like that, you leave a little bit of you in that ring. It's countless legends have spoke about it. It's been the same. They're never quite the same moving on from a fight like that. My opinion's still the same in that I believe Usyk's got the tools, the ability and the mentality to beat Tyson Fury. But at the same time is the size and reach and skills and wise, the brain of Fury in knowing how to negate somebody with that size advantage could be too much. I think that's if they were both the same size, I'd pick Usyk all day long. But I just feel that size, every time if Usyk gets close, I can just see Fury leaning, wrapping around him, just draining, just zapping them legs. If he zaps them legs, then that's a big thing of Usyk's arsenal, whether it's defence or attack. If you slow that down, take that away, then it gives him, he's got the height and reach. Also with the reach, it gives him that time to see the attacks from Usyk and to be able to make him fall short and then pepper him. So I would still say that Fury's the favourite. I still think it's a monumental task for Usyk to pull off, but Usyk's got the ability to do it.
Dave, appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of the time here in the US.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.